Okay, I wanted to do this to give an explanation of her hearing. So this student has hearing loss in both ears, and we aren't really sure how long she had the hearing loss before she got hearing aids. We just know that she referred on some hearing screens back starting in first grade and then kind of passed some and referred some in second and third grade. And then in fourth grade, she did go to the audiologist and ENT office and was identified with hearing loss in both ears. And she also got hearing aids soon thereafter, I believe. So this computer system basically takes that audiogram from 2017 is the most recent one I have, and so I put it into my computer here, and this flips it upside down into an SPLogram just so it's a little bit easier to understand. So this right here is low pitches on the left, middle pitches in the middle, and then high pitches on the right. And then we have soft sounds at the bottom, medium sounds, and very loud sounds at the top. This dotted line is the 0 hearing line for normal hearing. So at this spot, for example, that's where someone with normal hearing could just barely hear at 2000 hertz. But for her, the audiologist had to turn it all the way up here for her to just barely be able to hear it. And this is for the left ear, and then this is for the right ear. So it is a bit different for different frequencies. Okay, what I really like on this screen before we go ahead is Speech Intelligibility Index. I think it's a good summary to help us understand the severity of the loss. So she's hearing about 8% of of speech sounds in the left ear and 15% of speech sounds in the right ear. So I think it'll make more sense when we go over here to this screen. This will show us the normal hearing range from very soft sounds that we can just barely hear to very loud sounds. And then this is her hearing range in the blue shaded area for the left ear and the red shaded area for the right ear. So remember, she is just barely hearing these sounds here. So she's missing everything here in the gray section. So she's missing these environmental sounds and speech sounds. So when she doesn't wear her hearing aid, she's missing all of these speech sounds. And remember, she probably had hearing loss for a while before she got hearing aids. And I'm not sure how long that was, but she probably was only hearing these sounds right here, which obviously is going to have a big impact on how she understands speech and therefore language and therefore all of her learning and education. So that's very important to remember. Now we can actually experience it when we go over here. This is a simulator, and I'm going to let us listen to what it might sound like for her to listen to a normal conversation without her hearing aids. So you're not going to be able to do it. Is that what you're telling them? You're just going to sit here and listen. All right. I don't know if you can even hear that at all, but if you could hear it at all, you probably could not make out any of the words. This right here is what she might hear like with the hearing aids.
Okay, so you're not going to be able to do this. Is that what you're telling them?
I'm telling you that's probably what I'm going to do. Not do it.
You're just going to sit here and listen?
Yes.
Tell me about work. How was your day?
I don't want to talk about it.
So that is so much better, but it still is not normal. You might have noticed that man's voice was really soft and still I had to strain to hear it. So that is what she normally has to listen. That's how hard she has to pay attention to listen all day. And that gets very tiring. It's called listening fatigue. And it just takes a lot of effort and mental space to concentrate that hard just to listen. This is just a reference to normal hearing, so we can tell just a reference.
Okay, so you're not going to be able to do this. Is that what you're telling them?
I'm telling you that's probably what I'm going to do. Is not do it.
You're just going to sit here and listen.
Okay, so we can hear that easily. We're not straining at all. Now let's just go back. Now that you have a reference for normal, we'll go back to her hearing loss. So you're not going to be able to do this. Is that what you're telling them? And then this is what she hears now with her hearing aids.
Okay, so you're not gonna be able to do this, is that what you're telling Bill?
I'm telling you, that's probably what I'm going to do, is not do it.
You just,
And it's important to remember on these that we as adults have a full vocabulary, so it's easier for us, for our brains to fill in the gaps of what our ears miss. But for students who are still learning vocabulary, they just have fewer words to choose from when their brain is trying to fill in the gaps of what their ears miss. So that makes it even harder for students to understand the topic of conversation and everything. So also, this is exactly why hearing aids were recommended, of course, to help her hear better. She also has the remote microphone to use at school that will help her hear her teachers better. And I hope she'll use that more because I think it will really help. It is really important for all of us to make sure that communication with her is effective because that is required of us. So some things that we can do for that is to use the microphone to make sure that she can see our face when we're speaking to her, speaking clearly and at a slow or moderate pace, and also just check for understanding. It's very common for anyone with hearing loss to bluff their way through a conversation. So they might just smile and nod or say yes, even though they may have no idea what you're talking about, or they might not understand your vocabulary. They might not have heard what you said, or they're just not following. So checking for understanding with open-ended questions is the best. Also making sure that you're providing copy of notes and anything visual like captions to help her access her instruction is the best. So, all right, let me know if you have any questions. Thanks so much.